Alright guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. So, the 30th Dragon Ball Legends reveals and stuff has just ended. And this one was a pretty chill one, like nothing super crazy going on, just a relatively chill reveals and stuff at the end of the day. Now, they did hint towards what we were going to be getting during this reveals and stuff from, I believe, a trailer that we got like a few days ago when they started the Frieza Saga campaign. And a lot of people never picked up on it. Some people did, but obviously this is going to be revolving around the Ginyu Force. But before we actually break down anything concerning them, I do want to note some important information that they said before the characters. So first things first, we're getting PvP adjustments. So one of the things about PvP that they're going to be changing is the matchmaking. So we have improvement number 1, matchmaking based on match history and recent win rate to find opponents closer to your skill level. So again, they're just changing up the parameters and whatnot in the back end to be able to make it a much more fair experience for people online, because there are scenarios where you would get paired up against somebody who's just significantly better than you, and then of course vice versa, where somebody who's really good would get paired up against somebody who's significantly worse than them. But now that's going to be a thing of the past, because they're going to make sure that the opponents that you fight are at or around your skill level. So I'm pretty sure it's going to take time for them to actually like refine everything. Like it shows on like the very bottom where it shows from the next season, renovation seasons will be held for a time while these large scale updates are implemented and fine-tuned. So again, it's going to take them time to get it like as perfect as possible, but with this update, there's not going to be any way for you to fight somebody who's absurdly strong or absurdly weak. But that's not the end of it. So we also have update 2, defeat formidable foes to earn more RP than usual. You'll even lose less RP if you don't win. So they are trying to adjust how much RP you earn and how much you lose, because there are times where you would earn darn near no RP, but then you would lose literally 1 million, right? So they're going to try to adjust all that. Now, again, you can fight somebody who's better than you for sure, but they'll pop up as a formidable foe from here on out. Because the thing is, whenever they decide to implement this, I'm pretty sure it's next season onwards, your RP, like your points and your battle rank, will no longer show. It will just be, well, if you fight a formidable foe or not. That's it. You won't be able to see their battle rank. You won't be able to see their RP. The only thing you'll be able to see against your opponent is if they're a formidable foe or not. If they're not, then it'll just be blank. If they are, then yeah, you'll see a formidable foe. You'll know that they are better than you, or at least ranked higher than you at the bare minimum, but it is what it is. And then the final thing for PvP, improvement number 3, if you reach a certain battle rank before taking a break from raiding matches, get a special rank up the next time you play. So what Toshi said specifically during the reveals and stuff concerning this was, for people who potentially got to a certain rank and then, you know, they just weren't able to play for a season, whatever rank they were, they would get knocked all the way down to 1. They're changing all of that. So if there's just a season where you're not able to play, you will have an opportunity to like get back up there quickly. I don't know if it's like maybe you'll be able to maintain your spot if you like win a particular match or whatever the case may be, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're getting knocked all the way down to rank 1. Well, you know, you guys know what I mean. So hopefully that'll make things easier for people who may not be able to play PvP as consistently as like others out there. And then another thing that we got, you know, near the end of the reveals and stuff is Shallot is going to be getting a new Ginyu Force outfit. So there's going to be a brand new event that drops. Make sure you do that event, because when you do that event, he'll get a Ginyu Force outfit and he will be able to get the Ginyu Force tag. So with all the new units, you'll be able to use Shallot with them as well. And the last thing before we actually get into the new characters is that they're continuing the Sandland collaboration. And this time around, we can get some more sleeves for our cards with various characters from Sandland, but we also do get like a title banner, and we do get an outfit based on Beelzebub. So that's pretty nice. It's nice knowing that Shallot is getting a bit more love when it comes down to outfits. Now, obviously, this outfit is purely cosmetic because Beelzebub is not in Dragon Ball, so he won't have a tag. But it's still nice knowing that there's at least some sort of cosmetic update for Shallot. Now, we do have the brand new units, but of course, I recorded my reaction, so check out my reaction first, and then we'll break down what they can do. Let's see. I've been waiting for you. Okay, so yeah, it is the Ginyu Force. Like, Guldo and Recoome. Okay, yeah, so they are tag units. That's actually really freaking cool. Like, if there's any like units that need to be tagged, it should have been like the Ginyu Force or something. That makes complete sense. And then Jace Burner. All right, hold on. Wait, this is actually pretty cool. Like Jace Burner makes sense. They make complete sense. That's so freaking cool. That's so freaking cool. And then a new Ginyu. Okay. Oh, okay. Weave. Oh, he has blast armor. Dang. The Shadow Realm. Whoa! No. Wait, is that Revival? Wait! No, that's fire! That's fire! What? That's fire! So he revives by stealing Goku's body? Nah, that's clean. That's actually freaking fire. What? Whoa. Wait, what? What? Wait, what? Wait, we get Toku Sentai's the freaking song? Okay, that's fire. So now that we've seen what they can do, let's break it down. So starting off with Tag, Recoome, and Guldo. Again, it's kind of crazy knowing that the Ginyu Force are getting some tag units. It's actually pretty freaking cool. Anyway, Recoome and Guldo. Recoome is a yellow unit and Guldo is a green unit. So they are the second tag unit in the game to swap complete element factors. Not like, you know, swapping and getting like a reverse element factor. No, getting a completely different element factor. So that's nice. Anyway, they're a sparking unit, of course. They're a defense type and their tags are Frieza Force and Ginyu Force. Now, Z ability 3. Plus 30% to tag Ginyu Force, Episode Frieza Saga Z, or tag Frieza Force, Base Strike and Blast Defense, and plus 15% to Episode Frieza Saga Z, Base Strike Attack during battle. So, again, like I said, this is the Frieza Saga Z campaign, so of course, they're primarily going to be buffing units from said campaign, so that makes a lot of sense. Unique abilities. Has a special cover change against strike arts attacks, comboable with special move arts. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts. Activates 4 times. So that's fantastic. So it doesn't matter if you have Recoome or Guldo in. If you throw them in, they're element neutral for 5 timer counts, which is fantastic. However, it's limited to 4 times. So if you never swap and you just throw Recoome in 4 times, then he'll be element neutral against red units for 5 timer counts each. If you have Recoome in and then afterwards you just keep Guldo, then from Guldo, like 3 times after that, he would be element neutral against purple units for 5 timer counts when he goes in. So, or you can swap and just go from there. But either way, when they go in, they're element neutral for 5 timer counts, but it's up to 4 times. So you do want to be careful with it. Anyway, Recoome seals enemies' special arts. The sealed arts cannot be used for 5 timer counts. Guldo seals enemies' special move arts. The sealed arts cannot be used for 5 timer counts. Okay, so when it comes down to Recoome, he seals the special skill for 5 timer counts, which is nice, right? And then Guldo, he seals special moves for 5 timer counts. Pretty self-explanatory. However, it is relatively powerful. That can stop specific units who are very hard hitters, like, for example, Ultra Vegito Blue, from being able to do something. Like, for example, that'd be able to stop him from countering, or it could stop him from using his special move, which hits really, really hard. So it's a complete win-win. Anyway, continuing with unique abilities, RECOOME. The following effects occur upon landing a strike arts hit. Restores own health by 3% and ki by 5. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -15 to ki recovery for 10 timer counts. The following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. Restores own health by 2%, restores own health by 3%, activates 5 times. Activation count resets after attack switch is performed. Okay, so for starters, being able to restore your health and ki when you land strike is fantastic. It's a small amount of health and ki, but it still can help at the end of the day. And then also, inflicting the opponents with like ki recovery downgrades is also fantastic. They'll be able to prevent them from being able to get their ki efficiently and can potentially shorten their combo, which is fantastic. Not only that, being able to restore your health when you get hit is nice. And again, the activation counts reset every time you switch. So again, if you have RECOOME in and then you throw in Guldo, and then after Guldo you throw RECOOME back in, those restoring your own health for by 3% for 5 times resets. So the next time you get hit and you have RECOOME in, he gets to heal by 3% each time again, which is actually pretty cool. Alright, so we have Guldo. The following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. Reduces enemy ki by 10, activates 5 times, activation count resets after attack switch is performed. So again, if RECOOME is in, you restore health. If Guldo's in, you sabotage the opponent's ki, which is great. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -10% to special move, ultimate, and awaken arts power for 10 timer counts. So the way how it seems is RECOOME is probably the bulk. Like, he's meant to actually take the hits, which in turn would mean that he's also one that deals the damage, and then Guldo is the saboteur. So again, if you're trying to sabotage the opponent, have Guldo in. If you're trying to survive and be able to deal damage, have RECOOME in. Now, it actually sounds pretty decent so far. And then the final bit of unique abilities, applies the following effects to itself every time this character uses a strike, blast, or special move arts card. Plus 15% to damage inflicted for 5 timer counts, plus 30% to critical rate for 3 timer counts. Applies attribute upgrade, -15% to enemies sustained damage cut effects for 3 timer counts. So yeah, every time this unit attacks, doesn't matter if you have RECOOME or Guldo in, they deal damage, like extra damage, and they have a better probability of landing a crit. And then on top of all of that, you also lower your opponent's sustained damage cut. So your opponent is going to take mad damage, especially if you land that crit while using a special move. So that is actually pretty solid. Now, moving on to Jace and Burter. So, of course, they are another tag unit, which is fantastic and also makes complete sense. So, Jace is a red unit and Burter is a blue unit. Very self-explanatory. And also, they are the 3rd tag unit to have completely different element factors, which is also great. Anyway, they're a sparking unit, of course. They're a ranged type, and their tags are Frieza Force and Ginyu Force. Z ability 3, plus 30% to tag Ginyu Force, Episode Frieza Saga Z, or tag Frieza Force, base strike and blast attack, and plus 15% to Episode Frieza Saga Z, base blast defense during battle. So there's the ability in comparison to Guldo and RECOOME. Theirs is offensive, RECOOME and Guldo's is defensive, so there's that. Special move, the following effects occur on hit. Charges own switch gauge by 60%. So with this unit, you're really going to want to land their special move, because if you do, you raise your switch gauge by a lot, which is really good. Jace inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade -1 arts card draw speed level for 15 timer counts. Wow, okay, that's actually very powerful. Okay. Burter inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade -50% to ki recovery for 15 timer counts. So these guys are able to weaken your opponent's card draw speed, which means that they'll have a lower probability of continuing their combo, and you cripple their ki recovery if you have Burter in. So yeah, they have their own type of like saboteur like game going on as well. Anyway, switch ability. Jace, tag switch to Burter, switches own element to element blue, restores own health by 10% and ki by 30, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, restores own vanishing gauge by 70%. Requirements max switch gauge. So again, when you swap to Burter, obviously you'll become a blue unit. You get your some health back, you get some ki back, you raise your damage, and you get a lot of your vanish back. Which again, any scenario that gives you the potential chance of getting your vanish back is always a good thing. It is always a good thing. So that's actually pretty solid. Like, I'm completely down for that. And then Burter, tag switch to Jace, switches own element to element red, restores own health by 10% and ki by 30%, or well, 30, not 30%, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, applies buff effect, nullifies enemies' special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Requirements max switch gauge. Okay, so they pretty much have the exact same effects apart from the very last thing. So when you swap to Burter, you get your vanish. When you swap to Jace, you nullify cover change for 10 tower counts. So again, both of those are respectively good. Because, I mean, hey, look, if you're trying to combo, you're gonna need some of that, right? Anyway, unique abilities. The following effects occur when changing cover. Draw a special arts card next, activates once, randomly destroys one enemy card, has a special cover change against strike arts attacks, comboable with special move arts. So they have strike cover. You get a special arts card next when you change cover, so it's a guaranteed special skill, but it only activates once. But in the process, every time you change cover, you destroy one of your one card from your opponent, which is great. And then Jace inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 30% to health restoration for 20 timer counts. Burter reduces enemies' Dragon Balls by 1, activates once. So the one that you're going to be taking advantage of the most with this is going to be Jace, because if you have Burter in and you cover change in, the opponent loses a Dragon Ball, but it only happens once. After that, we have no idea what else happens, because obviously these are not the full details. So from what we see, you might be using Jace a lot more than Burter in terms of cover changing. But if you do still throw in Burter, you'll at least be knocking down a Dragon Ball, so it's not too bad. Alright, and continuing with the last bit of unique abilities, Jace. The following effects occur according to the number of times this character's strike or blast arts have hit. 1 time, plus 30% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. 2 times, draw a special move arts card next, activates twice. 3 or more times, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10% to damage received for 10 timer counts. Number of hits resets after character switch or when a tag switch is performed. I think that's very important to note, because again, it shows that it says number of hits resets after character switch or when a tag switch is performed. So I'm assuming that well, no, because it doesn't say the activation swap. I don't know, like I think it's kind of weird how they worded it, because on one end they didn't really mention the activations. So if you were delaying 2 hits and then you get a special move and then you swap out, right? I don't know if that actually resets that. I think their wording is really weird on that, so I don't know what to think. I'm under the notion that since it's saying that the number of hits resets after character switch or when a tag switch is performed, I'm assuming that it really is just it activates twice and that's that. But again, we will see. Anyway, Burter. The following effects occur when this character performs a vanishing step. Increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level for 5 timer counts. That makes complete sense. Restores own vanishing gauge by 70%, activates once. Activation count resets after tag switch. Okay, so again, unlike Jace, Burter's is guaranteed to come back every single time you swap to Jace, etc. Applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 5 timer counts, and shortens ally substitution counts by 2. So it seems as if you really want to deal damage with this unit, you're going to want to keep Burter in. And not to say that Jace can't do it either, because he also does have his own buffs, but Burter has the ability to get your vanish back quick, to be able to get your card draw speed up like that. to nullify cover change, lowering sub counts, all that good stuff. And again, when it comes down to his vanishing gauge up by 70%, that happens every single time you tag switch. So again, when it comes down to dealing damage, I'm leaning towards Burter, but it doesn't seem like Jace is bad at all. Okay, and now we get to the final unit of this entire thing. So we have Captain Ginyu. He's not an LF unit, he's just a regular Sparking unit. Anyway, he's a purple unit and he's a melee type. Tags are Frieza Force and Ginyu Force. Z ability 3, plus 30% to tag Ginyu Force, episode Frieza Saga Z, or tag Frieza Force base strike attack and defense, and plus 15% to episode Frieza Saga Z base blast attack during battle. Now, we get to something that I'm not too sure about, right? We have his unique ability, plus 30% chance to body change into Goku and revive with 100% health when own health reaches 0. Now, that sounds fantastic, right? That means that this Ginyu is a revival unit. Here's the caveat. Reduces enemy ki by 70 if revival fails. Let that sink in, right? Even though this Ginyu is a revival unit, there is a possibility that the revival can fail. Now, we saw it, like, you guys saw it, like, I saw it, obviously you guys saw my reaction. It's cool with the reference that they do when it fails. He transforms, I keep on saying transforms. He swaps his body with the frog instead of Goku, right? So it's a cool reference, but for actual practical use, that's a problem. That's a massive detriment to this unit because revival is extremely powerful, but they try to give you a way to balance it out. So we have actions that improve revival chance, plus 20% to revival chance upon main ability activation, cannot be canceled. So if you pop your main, he guaranteed has a 20% chance to revive. Guaranteed, it can't be stripped away. Plus 20, or I'm sorry, so early, I'm so tired I can barely read. Plus 10% to revival chance upon landing a special move arts hit, cannot be canceled. So if you land a special move, that's another 10%. Plus 10% to revival chance upon special arts activation, cannot be canceled. So if you use a special skill, that's another 10%. Plus 10% to revival chance per tag Ginyu Force or episode Frieza Saga Z battle member other than this character in the party, cannot be canceled. So pretty much when it comes down to you using him on either, Frieza Saga Z or Ginyu Force, as long as he's paired up with, one of those tags or episodes, whatever the case may be, then you'll get a guaranteed plus 20% to your revival chance, which is good. Plus 15% to revival chance when this character performs a vanishing step, cannot be canceled, which is darn near guaranteed. I mean, almost anybody should be able to get that one. And then this one is going to be the most difficult one, but still, plus 30% to revival chance per defeated battle member when this character enters the battlefield, cannot be canceled. Effects reset after character switch. So, I would say that it's very situational, but if you're really trying to get Ginyu to revive, you're gonna kind of have to lead off with him just to be able to get a lot of these things off, the main abilities, special moves, special arts. You don't really have to worry about, like, the Ginyu Force or episode Frieza Saga Z for using him on that team. So practically a guaranteed 20%. And then Vanishing Step is really easy, but apart from all that though, we'll have to see, because the last thing that you would want to happen is he's last man standing and then he gets knocked out and then his revival fails and then you just lose. That would actually be extremely, like, just demotivating to the nth degree, honestly. Anyway, let's move on to the unique abilities. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. Plus 90% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Reduces damage received by 65%, cannot be cancelled. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. Plus 50% to key recovery, cannot be cancelled. So he gets a lot of damage buffs while also being able to increase his card draw speed and being able to reduce damage received as well, which is fantastic. And then of course the key recovery, you can never go wrong with that. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Restores ki by 20, plus 50% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So when he goes in, he gets even more damage, which is insane. Applies the following effects to self when this character uses a strike or blast arts. Restores health by 3% and ki by 5, plus 15% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. So again, he has survivability, and he's able to deal lots of damage while being able to maintain ki, which is really, really good. Special move. Deals massive impact damage. Okay? But the following effects occur on hit. Obscures all enemy cards for 5 timer counts. All cards are turned face down for the effect duration, and their positions are shuffled. Blast armor when charging forward. Note that there is no limitation on this, which means every single time you land a special move, you will obscure your opponent. That's like, God, what? The red Buhan was able to obscure the opponent. I believe Sparking Whis was the first unit that brought obscure into the game. So you could really mess up in it, like your opponent's entire approach by obscuring them. So that's, we'll see how that goes, honestly. Special arts. Randomly randomly draws one new card. Restores own ki by 50, plus 30% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Reduces enemy ki by 50, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 2 to substitution count for 15 timer counts. Okay, so solid special skill. Just pop it. You get a lot of ki. You get a really big buff to strike damage. You cripple your opponent's ki as well, and you cripple their ki by 50. That's a lot. That is a ton. And you add plus 2 to their sub count, so that can really help out in certain situations. Now we have Captain or Goku Captain Ginyu. Like if your revival is successful. Unique abilities. Applies the following effects to self depending on the number of timer counts elapsed since transforming. 20 counts elapsed, plus 50% to ki recovery cannot be cancelled. 40 counts elapsed, restores health by 20%. 60 counts elapsed, increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. So, I think the main detriment with this is we don't know how long battles can last. So having this effect happen when it happens, like the moment he revives, it could come to the point where you may not even be able to utilize any of that. It's entirely possible because there are lots of games that go up to time. So yeah, it's not bad, but it could be pointless in certain scenarios, like if matches last way too long. Main ability. Draw a special arts card next, which is great. Restores own ki by 50, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Increases own arts card draw speed level by increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level for 20 timer counts. Cancels own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. Requirements: 10 timer counts must elapse. Okay, not bad, especially the arts card draw speed and getting a special skill guaranteed, plus the key to use it and raising your damage. Actually pretty solid. And then the final thing, the unique abilities, has a special cover change against strike arts attacks, activates during assists, comboable with special move arts. The following effects occur when this character uses a strike or blast arts. Restores own ki by 5, plus 15% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, and randomly destroys 1 enemy card. So yeah, those are all the details for the Ginyu Force units that we'll be getting in the game, I believe next reset. But honestly, they don't sound bad. They actually don't sound bad, and it's honestly pretty nice to see that episode Frieza Saga Z is getting a buff, especially in the form of the Ginyu Force, because the last Ginyu Force units we got were the EX units, and that was a very long time ago. But these units actually sound pretty solid. But I do want to know what you guys thought about all of this information in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.